Welcome back to my channel, The Coins World. Today we are going to take a fascinating journey into the history of the Philippine. One Piso coin from the year 2010, a piece that not only carries the face value of the national currency but also holds the echoes of the country's past, its struggles, its triumphs, and its continuing evolution in the modern world. The One Piso 2010 coin belongs to the new generation currency coin series, a pivotal series that symbolizes modernization while staying deeply rooted in the Philippines' history and identity. The 2010 One Piso coin features the iconic portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, whose life and writings inspired the movement for independence during Spanish rule. The decision to keep Rizal on the One Piso denomination demonstrates the coin's role as a circulating reminder of patriotism, education, and the pursuit of freedom. It was designed to instill national pride in every Filipino who used it in daily transactions, linking everyday life to the country's historical narrative. When the One Piso coin was released in 2010, the Philippines was undergoing numerous changes: economic, political, and cultural. This coin was a part of the broader monetary reforms by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) aimed at strengthening the economy and modernizing the country's currency system. Unlike earlier issues, the 2010 Piso emphasized durability, resistance to counterfeiting, and ease of recognition for the public. The material used in the 2010 One Piso coin was nickel-plated steel, a practical choice that provided strength, longevity, and a silvery appearance that distinguished it from lower denominations like the Sentimo series. This decision also reflected the government's concern for cost efficiency in minting coins that would endure heavy daily use. On the obverse side, Jose Rizal's portrait is prominently displayed, accompanied by the words Republica ng Pilipinas and the year of minting, 2010. The reverse side carries the denomination One Piso along with the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. These design choices combine both national identity and institutional authority, symbolizing a balance between heritage and governance. The introduction of the 2010 Piso also aligned with the Philippines' continued participation in global trade and tourism. Coins like this, although often overlooked, become silent ambassadors of the country's culture to foreigners who encounter them. They serve not only as mediums of exchange but also as carriers of national stories, traditions, and values. One fascinating aspect of the 2010 One Piso coin is its place within the transition of Philippine coinage. Prior to its release, coins bore different stylings, but this series began a shift toward more modern and uniform designs. Collectors today see the 2010 Piso as an important marker of that transition, making it more than just a coin but also a collectible that tells the story of change. The introduction of the 2010 Piso also aligned with the Philippines' continued participation in global trade and tourism. Coins like this, although often overlooked, become silent ambassadors of the country's culture to foreigners who encounter them. They serve not only as mediums of exchange but also as carriers of national stories, traditions, and values. One fascinating aspect of the 2010 One Piso coin is its place within the transition of Philippine coinage. Prior to its release, coins bore different stylings, but this series began a shift toward more modern and uniform designs. Collectors today see the 2010 Piso as an important marker of that transition, making it more than just a coin but also a collectible that tells the story of change. The coin also highlights the respect and reverence the Philippines holds for Jose Rizal. Placing him on the One Piso coin ensures that millions of Filipinos are reminded of his ideals each day. Rizal's legacy, encapsulated in this small piece of metal, serves as a constant nudge toward unity, courage, and sacrifice for the betterment of the nation. During this period, the Philippine economy was growing steadily and the BSP's decision to maintain strong, durable coinage mirrored the drive to strengthen the country's financial institutions. A robust monetary system required coins that could withstand circulation for years without deterioration, and the 2010 Piso was crafted precisely with this in mind. Interestingly, while most people used the 2010 Piso coin for daily transactions, coin collectors began recognizing its importance in numismatic circles. These coins were often valued for their role in the evolution of Philippine currency rather than for rarity. However, pristine uncirculated versions and error coins from the 2010 series have occasionally caught the attention of collectors, fetching higher than face value in auctions and online sales. The production quality of the 2010 Piso also reflected the BSP's effort to standardize coin sizes and appearances. This helped reduce confusion among the public and ensured that vending machines, counters, and banks could process coins more effectively. Such practical considerations may sound mundane, but they highlight how deeply connected coin design is to everyday life. Another important historical note is that the 2010 Piso coin is part of the last generation of Philippine coins before the new generation currency series was fully redesigned in 2018. This means that it holds a unique transitional value, bridging the gap between the older and newer styles of Philippine currency. The 2010 Piso, therefore, is not just a coin of metal but a symbol of national unity, economic growth, and modernization. For many Filipinos, it represents stability, as the 1 Piso denomination has been a fundamental part of daily life for decades. Its continued presence reinforced the reliability of the peso as the backbone of the Philippine economy. The country gained independence from the United States in 1946. This series was introduced in 1967 and remained in circulation until the mid-1970s, just before the coinage underwent design changes under the Marcos administration. The 10 Sentimo denomination was meant for small value transactions, equivalent to 1/10 of a Philippine peso. In the late 1960s, the 10 Sentimo could still buy a small candy, a stick of gum, or help in exact fare payments for jeepneys and buses. It was part of everyday commerce, especially in provincial markets. The choice of cupronickel made the coin durable against corrosion while giving it a silvery appearance that contrasted with the lower brass denominations. In 1968, the Philippines was under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos, who had taken office in 1965. This period was marked by infrastructure development, economic growth in some sectors, and early signs of political tension that would later lead to the declaration of martial law in 1972. The 10 Sentimo coin was minted as part of the government's modernization of currency, with designs that honored national heroes. Francisco Balagtas was chosen for his cultural importance, symbolizing Filipino literature and national pride. During this time, inflation was mild compared to later decades, and coins like the 10 Sentimo still held practical purchasing power. However, by the late 1970s, rising prices reduced its everyday use, leading to its gradual withdrawal from circulation. For collectors, the 196810 Sentimo is part of a historic series and is valued more for its age and historical relevance than for its face value. Circulated condition, often just a few pesos. Uncirculated, mint condition, can be worth more to collectors, especially if the coin has sharp details and original luster. Some coins may have higher value if they are in proof-like condition, or have minting errors such as off-center strikes or die cracks. The 1968 10 Sentimo is a reminder of an era when small coins played an important role in the Philippine economy. It is also a tangible tribute to Francisco Balagtas, keeping his legacy alive in the pockets of millions of Filipinos during the late 1960s and 1970s. Today, it serves as both a historical artifact and a collectible item that tells a story of the nation's currency evolution. The 196810 Sentimo belongs to the second series of Philippine coinage, introduced in 1967. This series was created after the Philippine government decided to modernize coin designs, replacing the post-war first series issued from 1958-1966. The aim was to highlight Filipino national heroes instead of generic images or colonial-inspired designs. Francisco Baltasar, more famously known as Francisco Balagtas, 1788-1862, was the chosen figure for the 10 Sentimo. He is considered the prince of Tagalog poets, and his most famous work, Florantia at Laura, became a symbol of Filipino literary excellence. Including him on the coin was a cultural statement, a reminder of the Philippines' literary roots and intellectual heritage. When the 10 Sentimo was minted in 1968, President Ferdinand Marcos was in his first term. The country was undergoing rapid infrastructure growth. Roads, bridges, and public buildings were being constructed. However, beneath this image of progress, political rivalries were growing, and events such as the Jabata Massacre March 1968 stirred controversy. Back in 1968, the Philippine peso had far more purchasing power than today. The 10 Sentimo could buy 2 pieces of candy or bread rolls, add to jeepney fare. Minimum fare was only a few centavos. pay for small items in sari-sari stores. Children often collected these coins, not for numismatics, but to trade for snacks at school. The coin was made from cupronickel, a copper-nickel alloy, to give it durability and a silver-like sheen. This was important because the Philippines' tropical climate is humid and corrosive to metals. The minting process aimed to produce millions of identical coins for everyday use. The engraving style was crisp but simple, making the denomination easy to identify even for people with poor eyesight. The Philippines had been independent for over 20 years by 1968. Its coinage still followed many U.S. minting techniques due to historical ties. The Manila Mint, which had been a branch of the U.S. Mint before World War II, influenced the production style of these coins, ensuring they were mechanically struck with precise details. The 1968 10 Sentimo circulated heavily until the late 1970s. By the early 1980s, inflation drastically reduced its buying power. By then, it became common to see these coins lying unused in drawers and piggy banks. Eventually, they were demonetized as newer coin series replaced them. Circulated coins, often found with scratches and wear, valued at only a few pesos. Uncirculated coins can be worth significantly more to collectors, especially if well preserved. Error coins, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or double-struck coins can command high premiums among error coin collectors. The coin is a tiny time capsule of the late 1960s Philippines, a period of optimism mixed with growing political unrest. It represents, for historians and collectors,